Hello, guys, and welcome to this week's episode of the Limitless Landscapers podcast. I'm going to be sharing with you 5 tips, I suppose, or 5 things to think about in this type of climate. So you could call it surviving and thriving in this sort of climate we're in at the moment. And it's something that I shared at a recent event in Cambridge, and I thought it was perfect for sharing with you guys on the podcast and getting to a wider audience. So let's go to the show. As the founder of the Landscapers Circle and the Limitless Landscapers podcast, I am here to help you get more money, time, and freedom to make your life and business truly limitless. Through my experiences as the owner of a garden design and landscaping business, and through tried and tested methods, if you want help with the marketing, managing, and growing of your business, then you are in the right place. If you are a landscaper, garden designer, horticultural business, or a supplier to the industry, be sure to hit subscribe so you never miss an episode. Now, let's get back to the show. Hello guys, how are you this fine Monday morning? Yes, I'm recording it on a Monday. You won't be hearing it till Wednesday. It started off raining, but it's turned out dry and lovely. So that's all good today. It's a very exciting week for me because I am planning and executing on my 40th birthday celebration, starting with a party on Saturday. So it's all go here, setting up marquees and creating what's going to be a warehouse rave, which is going to be so much fun. I'm so looking forward to it, but it means that I'm trying to get a lot of work done at the beginning of this week, because towards the end, it's just going to be trying to turn a house into a warehouse, which is going to be interesting. And also, I am going on the mental health first aiders course provided by Perennial on Wednesday and Thursday this week. So I'm very, very excited to do that, as I believe I can help not only the people that directly work for me over in the landscaping company, but also with my clients in TLC, and also people I come into contact with on a general basis, daily basis. So I'm really, really excited to be doing that, but it's going to be 2 intensive days. So yes, the beginning of this week is very, very busy. I hope you guys are still all going well, enjoying your landscaping and designing, and all is going smoothly. However, I have been, as I've said in previous podcast episodes and posts, I keep getting asked about what to do in this current climate. So there is currently a lot of things to think about. Prices going up, fuel prices if you travel. Of course, energy bills are increasing, although randomly mine's gone down, so I'm not complaining. And also the general fear around, are we going to have customers? Is it going to be a busy year next year? Or are we going to see a massive drop off? Well, I wanted to share some things. I went to the Cambridge Garden Network, hosted by Sam Lever of Bro Gardens Landscaping. Really fantastic event, really connected with a lot of people in the area. My father and half my family are from the Cambridge area, so I managed to go and visit family as well as attend this wonderful event. I presented as well, thanks to Sam for letting me do that, and really got to speak with people that could be helped by TLC, and also got to see a lot of collaborations taking place between designers and landscapers in the room, namely with Sam, ideally, because it was his event. We also heard from Perennial and the APL as well. So it was a really, really good event. And what I shared at that event was just 5 ways to survive and thrive in the current climate. And it won't be a surprise to you what they are, and it won't be anything out of the box thinking. It might just be something that you haven't thought about for a while, or you've ignored. Many of us bury our head in the sand at the first sign of trouble or fear, and there's a lot of fear around at the moment. So I want to share with you that number 1, cash flow is king. I've said this multiple times. If you are a TLC member, you should have already delved into the business basics topic, started getting your head around your numbers, and downloaded the cash flow forecasting template and should be filling it in regularly. My story with the cash flow is I didn't have a cash flow until I took on my first business mentor. Now, this was probably back in 2013, 2014. So we'd already been running the business 1 to 2 years at that point. I had no idea about cash flow. Obviously, I came from a sales and marketing background. I was very good at generating leads and converting leads. I had no idea about finances. I just started running my own consultancy business before I came on board with Aura Landscapes. And even there, I wasn't practicing a cash flow forecast because it was just me and the business, and it was at its very infant stages. When I became part of Aura Landscapes, I quickly realized that it could be a beast. And namely because landscaping companies have this major issue, what I call is a lot of receipts, a lot of materials, and a lot of labor. So there's a lot of cogs within the business that you need to keep an eye on. And there's a lot of expenses that go along with creating a landscaping company, especially one that's growing. And so when I got my first business mentor back then, just before we moved to the house we're in now, I remember him saying to me, before you go and get that yard, because that's what we were looking at the time, we were looking to move to a new house and also move to a yard space. And randomly, or as you would say, the universe delivered, they both came up at exactly the same time within 5 minutes drive of each. He said to me, in order to know whether you can afford to take on a yard, you need to run a cash flow forecast. And since that point, I've used a cash flow forecast to make many decisions in my business. And particularly when you are going through a period of fear or uncertainty, or people around you are freaking out and it makes you think, should I be freaking out? Or you're worried that leads are going to dry up, you really truly need to go back to your cash flow forecasting, because this gives you the ability to see what is happening with your cash. I recently attended a finance for non-finance managers course. It was very good. However, it just showed me that I already do the things that I should be doing and I'm doing it well. And the major thing for any business is the cash flow forecast. So apologies if I'm banging on about it, but it really is the underpinning of all businesses, because this allows you to make decisions on growth opportunities, collaboration opportunities, budgets, spend, marketing spend. Should you do X, Y, and Z? Should you employ an SEO specialist or should you do it yourself? We'll go back to your cash flow forecasting, because if you can't afford it, there is no choice. You have to do it yourself. Do you need funding? Do you buy a van now, or should you wait for 3 months when X comes in, X amount of income comes in? And it is all about forecasting based on real life. So the benefit of having a business that's been running 12 plus years is the fact that I can see how an average year runs for us with regards what I can expect to see in sales. It also allows me to see what on average I am going to spend in overheads, and essentially it allows me to plan going forward. What I have utilized cash flow for is really looking at worst case scenarios and best case scenarios. So I have my actual cash flow forecast, and then I have something called if, and it will be if plus. So if we have a really good year and X, Y, and Z happens, so if certain opportunities and jobs come off, and if minus, which is the worst case scenario, if X doesn't happen, where are we at as a company? And it can really give you a real quick snapshot to see what could happen both ways. So what could happen in the worst case scenario and the best case scenario, and what's actually happening now. So number one, go back to your cash flow forecasting. If you need help with that, please do get in touch. As I say, if you're a TLC member, there is a template for you to download and utilize with a handy how-to video as well. Number two is reviewing your numbers. So in the cash flow, I'm talking more about finance. And again, if you have an accountant, they'll be able to go through profit and loss, and they'll be able to go through your last year's accounts if that's your bag. But I'm not just talking about numbers. I am interested in sales, conversions, leads, lead generation, and all of this comes from your inquiry sheet. So if you do not have an inquiry log or an inquiry sheet where you log every single inquiry that comes into your business and you map it out where it goes, then you need to get one. As a TLC member, that's handily available for you in a template. But essentially, you need to log your inquiries to see where they are coming from. So what marketing pillar or strategy is working for you? What is working? What is bringing in the leads? Where are they coming from? So what location? So are there certain areas that are more profitable for you as a business than others, or brings in more leads than others? And also what happens? So tracking that inquiry from the initial inquiry right through to whether you've lost it, you've sold it, or they're an open quote. You need to review this. You need to review things such as how many leads you're getting in at one time, and how many convert to a site visit, and how many convert to a sale, because sales conversion is important. If your sales conversion is low, then you need to look at your sales strategy. If your lead to site visit conversion is low, then you need to look at your leads, because you're not attracting your ideal client. And also you need to look at different marketing strategies as to what is bringing in the correct or ideal clients for you versus what is bringing in the rubbish clients, or the ones that you don't want into you. So these are things that are arguably as important as your finances, because you are going to be spending time, if not money, on marketing strategies, and you need to see what these are doing for your business, whether they're positively impacting your business or negatively impacting. So you need to be constantly reviewing, and also you can use this to compare to the last year, and you can use it as a forecast for next year. As I said, it's important to get your head around these things. And essentially, when I recently did a quick snapshot review on my landscaping business, the good news is there was no difference between this year and last year. In fact, I think the difference was one inquiry on average a month. So it's not as horrendous as people are making out. I would also think about at this point as well, something I should have brought up in the cash flow side of things, is you need to increase your prices to cover the increase in fuel and energy costs, particularly if you have yard space or design studios, etc. Bear that in mind. You do need to pass on costs to your clients, otherwise it will just eat into your profits, as you well know. So yes, review your numbers regularly, at least once a year. I would probably do it twice. You could do it every quarter, you could do it every 6 months, you could do it every year. It's totally up to you, but it's quite interesting if you spend the time to do that. Something else you can look at as well is average project value. So how that compared to last year. Are you getting more designs only or design and builds? There's lots of things you can get just from keeping a track and updating regularly your inquiry log. So yes, that's the second thing to think about and do. Once you've done that is number 3. Do not, and I repeat, do not stop your marketing. People that turn off their marketing and start cutting costs such as marketing and support are the ones that are going to look at failing come the future months. Basically, if you do not market your company, no one knows you are there. Therefore, you get no sales. No sales equals no company. There's not much else I can say on this. If so many people get the fear and they start cutting back, and the first things they do, turn off ad spend, turn off marketing, turn off anything to do with that side of the business because they feel it's not worthwhile. That is absolutely the wrong thing to do. In 12 years of running my landscaping and design business, I have never stopped marketing in some way. Now, the trick is to work smart. So essentially, you need to go back to point number 2 and review your numbers, because you need to review those numbers and relate it back to marketing strategies that work. Double down on the marketing strategies that are bringing the right type of leads in. And if necessary, get rid of the marketing strategies that are A, not working, or B, not bringing in the right leads at all. That is how I would look at marketing. Keep reviewing and seeing what is working and what isn't. Get rid of the ones that aren't and double down on the ones that are. But do not stop. Do not stop marketing. And lots of people may say, well, I only have word of mouth. Where do you think your word of mouth started from? I would urge you to do a bit more digging when you're talking to potential clients about, they may have found you by word of mouth, but did they find your website first and then ask someone, or was it the other way around? Did they see your van? Sometimes it takes up to 7 touches, marketing touches that is, before people actually get in touch with you. So that may be they've seen you 7 posts on Facebook, or they've seen you on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, your van, your website. You get my gist. So you have to actually do a little bit more digging on that to get the correct answers for you and to find out a bit more about your business. Number 4, it's similar to the marketing. When times are hard, people get rid of coaches, mentors, and business advisors. Do not do this. It is times like these, when times are hard, that you truly need support. You truly need someone who isn't in your business, looking at your business with unbiased eyes. You need that support. You need to double down on making sure you're surrounding yourself with the right people. So making sure you have a community around you that understand you, that can support you. And I argue that a coach and mentor is definitely a worthwhile investment, because they are there to support you through all different times and can really look at your business from a different perspective. Because when you are in the business, you can get sucked into that thinking, this doesn't work for me, I don't need to do that, I need to do this. And it's asking someone who's completely unbiased and outside the business to look at your business and support you in that business that truly makes it a success. I personally have a business coach. I don't cancel, and I've never cancelled in the last 2 years at least, since I started working with one. And I value highly the support she gives me, and I do the same for my clients in TLC. So anyone who works with me on a one-to-one basis, I am there to support you, encourage you, and be your biggest cheerleader, as well as giving you things to think about and looking at your business from a different perspective. So do not get rid of support. If you can, keep hold of your coach or mentor, and make sure you surround yourself with a community of like-minded people. That's what TLC is here for. So if that's what you're looking for, come and join TLC. But yes, so who you hang around with absolutely does matter. My 5th and final thing for today, and what I talked about at the meeting, is mindset. It's something that I go on about quite a lot. There's an entire topic dedicated to it, and there will be more topics dedicated to it as I explore mindset more and more in my business journey. And essentially, you need your mind in the game. You need to raise your vibrations above the fear, and you need to believe in yourself and your business in order to attract that type of vibration back into your life through results and success. So essentially, you need to get your mind in the game, and ways to do this could simply be listening to inspirational podcasts. It could be listening to uplifting music. It could be journaling in the morning and the evening. That's personally what I do. It could be looking at gratitude, thinking every day about things that you are grateful for in your business. It could be reading really uplifting, inspiring books. So maybe autobiographies, or I'm reading one at the moment called Ask and It Is Given. It's all about manifestation and becoming your highest self and raising your vibration, because ultimately everything is energy. So if we all know, if we're around people that drain our energy, they just suck your energy away and you feel exhausted. When you're around people who are highly inspirational and high vibrational and their energy is insane, you just feel the same way. You can't wait to do things. You can't wait to act on things. And that is all it's all about. You need to get into that space and that mindset of belief, of knowing that everything's going to be okay. Solutions will present themselves to you. You are trying to be your highest self, your highest purpose, raising that vibration from negativity into positivity, feeling inspired rather than feeling depressed. And this is a choice we all make on a daily basis. And I get it. Sometimes circumstances and external environmental influences can really get you down, but it is ultimately your choice as a human being to choose whether you are choosing high vibrational, positive vibes, or whether you're going to go down the depressive route and take yourself back to bed, which ultimately means you'll take no action, because your energy directly reflects on the actions you take. Let's not forget that. So although it may sound a bit woo and a bit out there to think about energy and vibration and how you are showing up, essentially if you are operating from a high vibe, you are going to take inspired action, and you are not going to be afraid to step outside of your comfort zone and do things that you never would have done. You are not going to be afraid to challenge yourself, and you are going to take bigger leaps in business. So it's all directly reflects back to your mindset. And for me, it's something that I have to try hard to work on, because it's easy to get sucked into that negative cycle that we've all been in. Well, I have been in all my life, because my parents didn't know anything about positive mindset or raising vibrations or manifestation. So I'm having to teach it myself, which means rewiring my own brain in order to stay in that high vibe state. So we all need to reconnect daily and look at how we are showing up and how we get our mind back in the game, rather than letting ourselves slide into negativity, negative energy. And again, part of that is being around inspirational people. So if you are hanging around with people that are highly depressive and negative, I suggest you get rid of them immediately. And also cultivate a feeling of abundance. If you feel like you live in a world of lack, that's the world you will live in. If you are cultivating and looking for a world of abundance and feeling grateful, practicing gratitude, reflecting on what's happening in your life. This is why journaling is so important, in my opinion, because you're reflecting back on your day, you're reflecting back on the results, you're reflecting back on yourself, how you've shown up today and how you could show up better tomorrow. I just love this sort of stuff, but essentially it's the underpinning point of your business is you need to keep your mind in the game. So mindset is a huge thing, and it's the most difficult at times like these, where you are being bombarded with fear of increasing prices, recessions, etc., etc. So those are my 5 things I suggest in order to survive and indeed thrive, because let's not forget, some majorly successful businesses have started in a recession. I hate to say that word, but essentially you can be successful and you can thrive. You just need to think about those 5 things. You need to think about your business. There may be ways that you can diversify your business in order to, I don't know, like COVID, I suppose, some of us managed to make it a bumper year, even in the eyes of what was a crisis. And we managed to diversify our lives and change the way we do things in order to continue to have a successful business. So it's thinking of ways that you can do that now, if you so wish. But a 6th, an added thing, turn off the news. There's nothing good that comes from sitting there listening to BBC, to be honest. Turn off the news and get on with your lives. Just enjoy your lives. We don't know how long we've got here. Let's make it an enjoyable time. Let's make it a fun time. Let's play the game and have some fun. And that is it. My last words, let's play the game, have some fun of life. So hopefully this has inspired you, helped you think about things. Let me know. Do subscribe to the podcast, give us a 5-star review if you are on Spotify, or leave us a review on Apple Podcasts if you're listening to us there. If you do need some support, DM me over at The Landscapers Circle on Instagram, or send me an email, info@thelandscapercircle.co.uk. We do have a few ways that you can access the support in TLC. So we have the From the Ground Up course if you are just starting out in business. We're taking on the next cohort to start early next year. So if you are interested in that, jump on the wait list. Just go to thelandscapercircle.co.uk/launch. Or we have a free masterclass, which you can access completely for free to find out more tips and advice for your business, and also find out more about TLC. That's thelandscapercircle.co.uk/discover. And then we have 2 options for you. Either you can be part of our Learn and Grow membership, or you can be part of the mastermind, where you work one-to-one with me and in a small group of peers. So if you're interested in any of that, just head over to the website, look at the business map and click on Discover, Launch, Learn, Grow, or Accelerate, and the information will be there for you. Like I say, if you need any help, do get in touch. That's what TLC was created for. TLC for your landscaping and or design business. So I will see you next week. In the meantime, have a wonderful week, guys.